Starting this video with a public service announcement because I know there's going to be some problems from it. The following clip has me criticising certain things about a couple of the blades. It's by no means me shitting on the blades or the makers. They did excellent work. Just a couple of random observations that I've seen with the knives while trying to do something of an honest review. I mean, as best I could. Skip around, check out a couple of things, watch the whole thing. Doesn't bother me. Just enjoy it. It's knives. Who doesn't like a knife? Alright, we'll start with all the tools and extras that I bought. There will be a lot of knives in this, so don't worry. I'll just get this out of the way first. So to start with, beautiful dog head hammer from eveleigh works. eveleigh. I'll put up, again, all the links will be in the description, same as timestamps and all that, so you can skip ahead. But beautiful dog head hammer, 115 bucks. Beautiful. I've already used him a whole bunch. I've done a bit of Damascus and this thing, amazing. Got them immediately come home and dipped the handle in, or brushed on some raw linseed oil, let him dry, and it's got that beautiful linseed smell. You know if you know. Don't want to protect it. I want to keep this thing for a good long while. I believe it was 1.5 pound head. I think it was, maybe 1 3/4. He's a nice weight, and it is a pleasure to use this hammer. There's a nice little maker's mark there, or touch mark, but it is a pleasure to use this hammer, and I will be using this thing for years. I might even buy another, like one of their heavier weight hammers from them. It's a beautiful piece, and it's amazing. So I mainly use just off-the-shelf hammers that definitely aren't designed for smithing. Here's a picture of my my main hammer, my 3-pounder. You can see it's not the greatest. It's definitely not meant for hitting superheated steel. Next we have BSL, and I was going there and I was planning on buying a new anvil from them because mine's got spider webs growing on the fucking thing. Here's another picture. But instead I couldn't carry that home, especially a 100 kilo forge by myself. I'm strong, but I'm not that strong. That'll have to wait. Instead I ended up getting a nice little hot cut, hardy shank, so straight in there. I've already used him for a couple of things, kind of failed on one, but this will be used as a cut off, not so much as a tooling cut, I guess. But he's a nice heavy piece. It's a cut off, so, or a hot cut, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, again from BSL, I had to get a flatter. Now this is, you just lay him down, run it across the blade as you're hammering on the top of it, and it takes out all your heavy hammer wells and all your marking and all that. It was just the head. I just grabbed a random tree branch, cleaned him up, hit him with was it my draw knife. It's a beautiful draw knife. Bought it from Cherry, had it imported from Germany to make bows. It's a magnificent piece. But yeah, the flatter, I've already used him as well, doing some Damascus with the dog head. It is a simple, easy piece. Just buy it, stick a handle on it, grind the face, just nice and smooth. Probably do a little more work, but simple enough. Yeah. Then from gameco, I ended up buying a nice heavy set of tongs. These are, 14 inch, 55 centimeter. These are closed mouth pickup tongs. It was 1 centimeter, 10 mil or something. It was designed for, well, I mean, I got it solely so I could do some nice heavy damascus pieces, because I just have flat bit tongs and they hold 3 mils, nowhere near enough for a billet. And yeah, so needed something nice. These are a heavy piece. Yeah, already used them a whole bunch. Again, the damascus. I got impatient. It's been 2 weeks since this video, so. But yeah, pretty simple. Just a nice pair of tongs. Cost an arm and a leg, but they'll won't last me for sure. As well, I was at Gameco, I ended up picking up just a nice little $20 knife blank. Yeah, just something simple, easy. They just laser cut them out of some sheet. Because I'll make a nice little camp knife or something out of him. Nice little hunting knife. Yeah, I just seen it there, I just thought, why not? What else am I going to spend all my money on? Next thing, Oblivion blades. And I heard a whole bunch of people at the show talking about them, and well, I had to. So I ended up going and getting one of their Damascus billets. It's a white number 2 steel and copper, and 5 layer as far as I could tell. Grinded the end there, excuse me, grinded the end there just to see the layers, and you might not see it. I'll put up a photo. There's a very, very faint copper line through there. I'm guessing it's copper sheet. It doesn't bother me at all. I wanted that beautiful copper line, and you'll see one of the blades I got here is the reason I bought it was because of the copper. But yeah, he's a solid piece, and it's 125 bucks. For the price and what I got, I will get a lot of blades out of this. So, yeah. The only problem is, I now need somehow to draw this out so that I can actually use it. Because I don't have no power hammer or press or anything like that, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Last thing I got, I needed a new stone. I got one inside, but it's 600, 800 grit. This, I bought 1,000 grit. And this is quite a nice piece. Comes in its own little container. The greatest thing about it is the container doubles as a holder. So you just pop him in, there's little grooves here. It just sits in there perfectly. It's a water stone, so you soak him first, soak him for a couple of minutes, and then use him, and it gets like a mud essentially on top of it. Well, that's what they call it. It's literally like metal filings and scrapings of the stone. But it's that what works to sharpen a blade, and this will help me in making a lot finer edges, that's for sure. Here's my strop. Taking it out of the packet. Get a nice little bag, because I want to keep it clean, because this thing gets crap on it, it becomes a problem. We got smooth side, and we got essentially a fur side, just for taking the burr off. When you sharpen in a blade, you'll see that little burr at the, you should know what a strop's for. So that last little thing to get that edge to a proper sharpness. But yeah, 15 bucks, couldn't pass it up. It's from Nordic Edge, so again, I'll be buying a lot from them. It even come with a nice little hunk of polish. Just rub him on, and the best thing about this, well, I would have liked a nice stropping belt. This, the best thing, it's a piece. So if I'm having to strop something large that I can't on a belt, I can literally use this and put the piece down and strop with the paddle instead of the blade on the strop. But yeah, 15 bucks, couldn't pass it up. Simple, easy, will get a lot of use. Alright, now the fun part, which is probably what everyone has skipped to, the knives. I'll do these kind of smallest to largest, but I'll group all the manufacturers or the makers together so that they get their proper credit. Smallest one first would have to be this, and this is from Knives and Stones, where I got that the sharpening stone. I seen it there and it was just nice little beautiful knife. It's a little box, it's got just a tiny little, just a little baby. 30 bucks. It's beautiful design, very simplistic and just nice. Nothing too crash out, nothing to write home about, but it is a beautiful knife. It's very sharp, like extremely sharp. Probably owing to them having such good sharpening stones. No complaints, absolutely none at all. It has got a bit of weight to it considering the size of the piece. There's a little bell on the end's pretty damn cool too. They had about 5 or 6 designs there. I just like the colours on the wrap, the Edo wrap, just the cool factor, and yeah, 30 bucks. It's nothing. It's a drop in the pond, really. It's a nice little piece, that. Yeah, Knives and Stones. They were quite. It was a bit hard talking with them, not because of language barrier, just because of how many people were mobbing them at the table. It was impossible to get to some tables at points, and well, there was knives that I was looking at, then I just couldn't get to the table, and when there was finally space, they were gone. So there's a knife I'll show you coming up in a few that I couldn't pass up. Just impossible. I should have bought more from the guy. But right, on to the next knife. This. Don't worry, it's all right. This. Some people might know what this is. This is a blacksmith knife. And no, it's not a knife made exclusively for the use of blacksmiths. This is a knife made by blacksmiths. Got a nice sheep foot design. I bought it purely because of the sheep's foot. So I'll make a mark. You can see there, just in the top corner. It does have a slight curl to it. It ain't the greatest hammering and all that, but again, $30, and honestly, this is by far the knife I have enjoyed the most. Over the last 2 weeks, I have used this more than I have looked at some of the other knives. I've used this to open boxes, slice food. I will get more use out of this one knife than every knife in my kitchen, purely because this is designed as a utilitarian tooling knife. Carve wood, cut things, mark stuff. Blacksmith knives are designed to be used and abused, so the fact that someone at the knife show was selling these, it was just amazing. Plus, the guy, I had a quick chat with him. This was by Nowra Knives, and give him a shout out. When I was buying the knife, he commented that his wife said, "Why do you make them with a tip pointing down? Nobody wants them." And well, the reason I bought this knife was because it was only one of 2, maybe 3 on the table that was a sheep's foot design, and there wasn't many sheep's foot there at all. I seen it and just like, oh, that's gorgeous, and it's got character, and I have used it so much already, and I love it. And shout out to the guy, because he makes a nice knife, even to the point where I am going to be making a kydex sheath, belt sheath, specifically for this knife, because I love it so much, and it's great. Best $30 I spent at the show by far was this knife alone. Probably the best knife I got at the show was this one. I mean, it's not the most beautiful or the sharpest. I mean, it is insanely sharp, but just for the sheer amount of use I will get out of this, it's the best knife there. Next, we have something unique, into the point where this came with paperwork, which no other knife at the show did, and I'm extremely surprised about that, and pleasantly like happy, like crazy happy. I paid $170 for this. It's a Kiradashi, beautiful. This is a knife case from Gameco, of course. Nice little tag there. This is beautiful inside. It's got multiple carry options. It's got a perpendicular and a horizontal, I think it was. Yeah, perpendicular and horizontal. So you can feed it through a belt or feed it over a belt, hence the belt clip there. Beautiful kydex sheath, grey kydex. Nothing fancy, but it does its job. There is a problem. I don't really like kydex too much, and it's purely because of this problem. You see, like, beautiful blade here. You see that front of it? It's got this beautiful fireball stainless Damascus, but because of where the kydex is rubbing right here, it's kind of got it's lost a bit of the edge. This has essentially been rubbed off, but it is a beautiful piece. And again, talking with this fella, I had a bit of a joke with him about me trying to make a Kiradashi butter knife, and well, it was a bit of an awkward conversation, but how do you make it? Yeah, it is what it is, basically. This is old Adam. I can't remember the guy's name. Hang on, the paperwork. Full delivery notice. The Australian cutler. That's who it was. Yeah, stainless Damascus utility knife. One of the coolest things by far. This. Now this is a USB. I mean, it's a cool looking little USB by itself, but this has the entire build of this knife on it. So I now have the heritage of this knife and the build of it. But by far the greatest and the coolest piece is this. Now this, a certificate of origin. This is the only maker at the show that I've seen with these, and he offered it as if it was just a non-issue, like it was something he does with everything, and it's amazing. It's got full description of the steel used, like the Damascus and the core, the grind, the sheath, the kydex sheath, maker's mark, everything. It's recorded number in their records. It's amazing. It even has details on how to care for the knife, how to store it, what to be using it on. It's great. And yeah, guaranteed sole authorship, all work by maker, proudly made in Australia by Adam Grosskopf. Please don't hate me if I mispronounce your name, but beautiful little signature, everything. The amount of work that went into this small little knife, and it's something so indiscriminate and small, but god damn, this thing is gorgeous, and just the expertise in the fact of making certificate of origin, having build breakdowns and everything is just the coolest. And I like it so much that I'm going to start doing this kind of thing. And I think people should have a right to see where the blade come from. That's why I do my videos and that, and hence why they're here. But just the sheer, like, how did it come to be, or what was it like? Yeah, this is quite a nice thing. This is, I like it so much, I'm even going to put up the photos here, just so that he can get a bit more of a, well, showing off, because wow, is it amazing. Just cycle through them real quick. Experienced a small problem here tracking down info on the Australian cutler. So unfortunately I couldn't find website or a Facebook profile or Instagram or anything like that. The only thing I did come across was a couple of forum posts from about 4 or 5 years ago, and an email address that come with a card. Both of those are going to be linked down in the description, but if anyone happens to come across any info or anything of the like, please let me know so I can give the maker their credit. Alright, next knife. It's a nice little tooled leather sheath, something simple, easy, and inside is this monster. It's a beautiful little handle here, something simple. This blade is a beautiful, nice damascus. Nothing, it looks kind of like X&O kind of pattern, ever so slightly, especially on this side here, down on that bevel. We've got a nice hollow grind. You feel that beautiful how it comes down to a nice fine edge, and then just the final sharpening. It does have a few small problems, not defects. They're not going to stop the blade from performing. There's right on this spine, that's just essentially the file work was maybe a bit rushed or something, or it could have used a little bit more cleaning up or dressing. Same as right down here on the edge of where the blade ends, it's just a little bit of metal hanging on. Probably just a little bit more work on the strop, but other than that, this is a beautiful blade. And what's good about this blade is I got this one and I got this one both for $100. Not 100 each, $100 for both of them. And this, well, I saw this blade and it was this handle that caught my attention, just because it's a wild design, especially with the large that finger well there, and this nice choil, I guess. But it's a nice design, it's a solid piece, it sits comfortably in the hand, and well, it's got some beautiful colours to it. I mean, it's, as you can see here, probably on the spine better. It's basically plywood. I've done very similar stuff myself. It's a nice piece, very solid, very sturdy. It's got a strong spine, even though it's smoothed and flattened essentially. Like they've taken that hard edge off the spine itself. It is still a very, very stout piece. And again, we've got a nice hollow grind on it with a final edge. This blade I can see absolutely no problems with. This is going to be a good working knife for a long while, and it just looks damn cool. I mean, just look at that. That's nice. But yeah, she cuts, and well, it's one hell of a piece. I just couldn't pass it up. Alright, this piece, this was the single most expensive knife I bought at the show, and I hope I can show you exactly why, because this camera might not be good enough. I really wish I got some knife photography done on this blade, but without further ado, here we go. Beautiful hand-tooled little slipcase. So maker's mark on the back. This is oh, those knives, I forgot to announce who they were. They were SSG, I believe. Yeah, SSG. Yep. Yeah, SSG knives. Those last two there. Again, links in the description, so you ever want to know, let's head down there. But yeah, beautiful little hand-tooled slipcase. And this thing is, this is a jelinek knife. Jelinek, I might be pronouncing that wrong, don't kill me. But this is a beautiful, like, it's got chatoyance in that handle. Like, it's quite nice. Because I don't think this camera is going to be able to do it justice. This piece is very, dare I say, delicate because of the design. It's a mosaic damascus piece. You may be able to see it. I'll take as many photos as I possibly can of this piece. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. See that beautiful touch mark there. I'll link. No, I'm not sure if I can link their Facebook post, but if I'll link. There'll be a description to their Facebook page, and you can go down and check out the entire build of this thing. It is amazing. Even come with this. Yeah, sold for what it was, and it's a very simple knife for what it is. There's a 4-inch maidenhair mosaic Damascus drop point, and swooping down. There's, yeah, a nice little like hunting knife, kind of just a belt knife. There's 15 and 20 1084 steel in that maidenhair, that beautiful, beautiful design. I definitely won't be able to show off just how amazing this is, but it's my phone, the camera on that is better than this, and I doubt it will even be able to capture it. But yeah, it's a rosewood handle. As we got buffalo bolster on the front there, like buffalo horn. You can see that bit of horn. And yeah, it's got nickel silver liners between it, black G10, and then a black G10 pin just in the guts here. Nothing too fancy. It is, I mean, the fittings and that aren't too fancy, but this blade is amazing to the point where you can see that beautiful, how it works on that spine. It is, I will take care of this blade. I will be passing this down to my non-existent children someday. So I now need to have children to pass it down to them. But one thing, the only problem I have with this knife, besides costing me $700 and making me question why I buy knives, is the handle. It is a very light handle, and that probably that could be by design. I'm not sure. I should have spoken to the maker a lot more, but the handle. There's a reason I like full tang knives is because there's weight in the handle, but it is a beautiful piece that I will never be able to do justice to with this camera, purely because it's just not good enough. Probably the coolest thing, I mean, check out that distal taper. That comes down so nice, just beautifully. But enough gushing over this. We got other knives to showcase. So, but jelinek, amazing. He had a clamshell Bowie there that I was really considering. He also had a Chris, a copper Damascus Chris. That thing was gorgeous. I'll link. There's one of my subscribers. I've spoken to him a few times in comments. I'll link one of their videos right here so you can see an interview with the maker, and oh my god, just some beautiful pieces. Oh, last thing with jelinek knives. This is a bottle of camellia oil. When I was buying the knife, gave me this. It's solely to protect that blade for long-term storage or after use. Amazing. Just, here's a beautiful knife, and here is what you need to take care of it and maintain that knife for years to come. So, props to him. Amazing. The forethought on some of these makers, like with the Australian cutler that done the Kiradashi style knife, just some things that like I never thought of, and that I'm definitely going to be stealing and doing in the future, just because I think it takes you to that next level of what a maker is, a custom maker. Alright, moving on to the next one, we have Spartan sports goods. I wanted to go them because they had quite some funky things they were selling there. I wanted to get a nice kukri from them, but I ended up buying one later on after the show. So I spent a lot after the show. Seen this. It's called a Hawk Harpoon by M48. They do a lot of survival stuff and some really weird design stuff. $40, couldn't pass it up. This thing, I seen it there and, well, it's just weird. Got a nice little rubberized sheath thing. Pretty simple kind of rubber me. It's got a belt hoop or belt loop, I guess, whatever. This is a harpoon head, like an actual harpoon head. Now this, I found out later on when I done a bit of research, because I just seen it there and it looked cool and everyone was ignoring it, and well, that's not fun. So I ended up buying it because it's weird. This is solid steel, like solid stainless construction. It is quite a heavy piece. I'm guessing that's by design. It can be used as a little crusher, it can be used as a knife, as well as these holes in it here, these three main holes. It's designed to be tied to a stick and actually used as a harpoon, like a fishing harpoon for survival situations. This is, for $40, this is pretty damn cool. I mean, it's definitely going to be going in my camping, like my little camping gear box, and just, it's beautiful. Just so simplistic and just a weird design, so I had to get it. I couldn't pass it up. So I like a lot of weird, strange things, so yeah. So one thing I don't like about it is that it holds it nice and firm, but goddamn, it's a pain in the ass getting that back in there. If you're trying to one-hand that on the belt, ugh. Yeah, M48. But yeah, that's. I never thought I'd see someone selling a harpoon survival knife at a knife show. That's just weird. But while I was at Spartan Sports Goods, I ended up getting something else, and that something else maybe divisive to a few people. Not exactly a knife. But anyone that's checked out my socials will know. But this is a boar spear. This is 6 foot 6 inches with a nice heavy sheath, but this is a proper boar spear, and I am most definitely going to be using this. Like, the next time I go hunting, I will pester friends of mine that do it a lot. I will pester them till the day I die, just so that I can take this on the next hunt, purely because I want to do... Well, I want to go there and I want a photo of me standing over a boar, skewered with a boar spear in full medieval regalia, like hunting gear. And I don't care how long that's going to take, it will happen. And there is absolutely nothing that's going to stop that. But this thing is huge. $250, and it is a huge leaf-headed boar spear, and I mean, it's a boar spear. How the hell could you pass that up? Not very traditional with the design of the head, but god damn, it's strong, and well, it's a boar spear. I don't know how many times I need to repeat that, but it's a boar spear. How are you going to pass up a boar spear? Because I bought two of their odd items that kind of seem to be ignored, they gave me a little lucky dip. So I ended up getting this. I got my brother one as well. I got a curved one, he got a straight one. I like the shape, not bad. I mean, it's 440 stainless. It's like those cheap off-cut like knives that you just get cut from a laser cutter and just grinded. It's double bevel, flat grinds, nothing to write home about, but as something that just goes in a toolbox, it'll last. Don't really care too much for the rubberized handle, but well, he's got nuts and fittings, so I can literally just undo him and riff him off and put a nice bit of redwood or something on there. But since I couldn't get my kukri that I wanted at the show, I ended up grabbing this nice little curve something. I mean, I did get the kukri, I'll show that. That'll probably come up in the next one. But it's just a little material sheath, nothing fancy. This blade is one of those things where it does exactly what it needs to do and nothing more. And something about that I really like. That's why I enjoyed that blacksmith knife so much. But yeah, pretty simple. Getting a lot of stuff here. The last thing I got from them was this. There's a little freebie, chuck it in kind of thing. This is the Myoko neck knife. I have no idea what the use of this is, but you can see that blade just look pretty damn cool, and yeah, just the fact that on the back it's limited forever warranty, which kind of is a bit of a screw around. Those words don't go together. There's fiberglass handle, fiberglass sheath. Yeah, Blackie Collins designed neck knife, and no, that's not racist. That's literally the name on it. It's called a blunt tip river knife. Well, that's what they consider it. Yeah, nice little American kind of thing, made in China, but American knife. Don't know how that works, but yeah. Yeah, yeah. It'll go in the tackle box. Something to throw with the fishing gear. Or I'll give it to a mate for his birthday or something. Although re-gifting might be a bit much. So let's just hope he doesn't see this. Right, next up. This. Joker. Yeah. This is a Spanish company, I believe. Yeah, designed and handcrafted in Spain. This I was looking at for a while. I just couldn't get to the table, and luckily when I circled back around to him, he still had some, which was I'm loving. It's a nice tool, leather sheath there, beautiful Joker maker's mark on it. Check out that blade. That beautiful, nice, strong gut hook there. As again, we got a nice hollow grind and just a finished bevel, and like it is a beautiful piece. They have all their markings on it. This handle, olive wood, and I've never seen olive wood used as a handle, but it makes quite a beautiful piece there. It's quite nice, quite a striking piece. Obviously this is darkened up ever so slightly. I hit him with a bit of tung oil just to preserve the wood, and just to, well, you want to oil your knives, especially wood. You want to oil them. But it's sport cutlery. Literally comes with a bit of, yeah. We certified that this product was made from real olive wood using traditional methods. I don't know what those traditional methods are, but yeah, beautiful little Joker hunting knife, and I needed a good hunting knife that I can just sit on my belt and it'll do everything out in the field. And yeah, it kind of stood out to me. There was a couple with some darker handles and ones that had a smoother transition, but I mean, it makes it easier for cleaning when you got a nice bloody knife that's covered in fur and guts and gunk. But I don't know, something about that hard transition there that just kind of spoke to me, I guess. But beautiful little sheath, nice knife, and well, this is all I care about is the knife works. And I mean, it has to look good, of course, but yeah, it's a beautiful knife. I'll be using this one quite a bit too. While I was at Joker, or the Joker knife store, I ended up seeing this. And yes, that is a kukri. Go there. This isn't the one I wanted. The one I wanted is getting shipped to me as we speak. But this is still one hell of a blade. I'll bring him out. Hopefully I can get it out without slicing myself up. This is... And just look at that spine. That's 5mm, 6mm thick. That spine. It is crazy thick. Get rid of that. Just another material sheath, nothing fancy, just enough to hold the blade without you slicing your fucking leg off. And yeah, just Nepal kukri. Yeah. Again, made by Joker. It's got their maker's mark there. It was a set of 3, and the fella tried to sell me on the set of 3, but, well, it was a kukri, a barong, and a machete. And, well, I was only after the kukri because, kukris are one of my favourite shapes. I love that recurve shape, that beautiful, it just looks so damn cool, and that aid in the hacking, chopping motion. As I love, like my favorites are like kukris, falcatas, falsetta, however you pronounce it. Things like the kopis, the Greek kopis, the Egyptian kopesh. I love those curved blades. They're just gorgeous. But I think this was, he was $80, I think it was. A nice heavy piece, and like this will split wood. This will. There's me Joker, that was, I think he was 110. And with them, yeah. Because I bought a couple of things, I might ended up throwing in a nice little key ring. Not fancy, just seeing a deer there, it's like, why not? It's a deer. Next piece, we got this. Not sure which way up it's meant to go. Probably this way. This is from Chef's Knife Pro. Had a bit of a combo. You've seen the video. You'll see me having a chat with him. $145 for this. Beautiful Yanagiba and stainless steel Damascus. You can probably see that watering on there. A beautiful, beautiful piece. Again, the problem with this is a very, very light handle, and I'm guessing it's done for a reason, but I like heavy handles. But I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Very traditional. Just might be able to see that watering. There we go, a lot better that side. Now, with a lot of Japanese blades, they tend to have kind of a way they do them. This is a chisel grind, which I've done a couple of chisel grinds myself previously. What they do is you'll have one completely flat side and then one that angles up like a chisel. It kind of curls things away from the blade. Same as these dimples are by design. That's not a defect or anything. That's so that things don't have. It essentially breaks the surface tension, so stuff doesn't stick to the blade. It can't. It won't stick there because of like moisture or anything. So it's great. But the way they done this knife is, as you can see with that watering on this side, it's not flat so much as it is angled ever so slightly. This is probably like a 2-degree bevel maybe on that one, maybe 2 degrees at the most. But it is flat from tip to spine or edge to spine. It's just that it's angled, and then they've canted this side of the blade and grinded the chisel in, the chisel edge there. Beautiful piece. Had a nice chat with the guy, had a couple of laughs, and well, while I don't do a lot of fish like salmon and tuna and things like that, the Yanagiba will get some use. It will, regardless. Alright, next, this thing right here. This is one hell of a blade. This is Jack BURKOLTER Masano knives. Licensed reseller of Masano Japanese. This thing, I'll have to take it out of its packaging and assemble it properly. Yeah, it's a Ken Nata DM Cherry hunting knife, which is really cool. $260 this thing cost me, but well worth it. It's a beautiful piece, as you're about to see. Get this thing out of here. The mind. I come with all this stuff. This is anti-rust paper, which is pretty damn cool. Want to preserve those knives. It sits beautifully in there. You can tell that's a nice piece. I love a good wood sire. There's something about a wood sire that just, especially when they're matched with the handle material, or even when they're offset by the handle material, there's something about them that's just gorgeous. This thing has a lot of chatoyance as well. Try and show that up. Maybe see it, maybe not. It is, this thing shimmers. Yeah, nice little bit of leather work on the sheath. So that, yeah, belt hoop looks really cool with little buckles and that. Really cool. More importantly is this blade. This blade is heavy. Look at that spine. That, we're talking a 6mm spine, damascus steel the whole way. Like it's gorgeous. Double beveled. There's a maker's mark there. This is, it is a heavy piece. Again, there's not much weight in the handle, unfortunately, but that's probably due in part to, well, it having a nice steel bolster here and that heavy blade. But it is a beautiful piece. $260. I nearly just fucking sliced my fingers. But yeah, 260 bucks. I seen it there. I was looking. I was deciding whether or not I needed a big thumping hunting knife like this, and while I don't need it, I wanted it. So sometimes a want is greater than a need. The one thing I don't like is this clip. It's a bit tight. Need a little bit more, just a touch more leather, or to bring that that button, that press fitting out just a little bit. But it's a gorgeous piece. Just beautiful. Cherry wood. There's something about cherry wood that's just nice. I think I might have to get some cherry just myself, just to work as a blade. Now we got this. This is from Wolf and Eagle Forge, and this, oh, first of all, I'll show this off. This is a, I guess they call it a practice knife or a picnic knife. It's literally leftover resin and just sharpened, shaped and sharpened, and it is quite sharp. They were selling these as picnic knives, but every single person there was buying them for their kids, so that when mum and dad are using the big fancy knives in the kitchen, the kid could be there using this, cooking along with them. Brilliant idea. $30. I couldn't pass it up. It was just a cool looking little thing, and well, it'll probably go in a picnic kit or a camping kit or something, just in case, or I'll give it to one of my nieces or something. Now this, I've got a nice little case here, fur lined as usual. This thing here, you know what I was saying about Oblivion blades with that beautiful copper line? This here is Oblivion blade steel. This is, I don't know the handle, just some nondescript burl, might be sheoak, I'm not sure, don't hold me to that one. There's a softened spine, so there's no hard edges. It's beautiful, just one clean bevel from edge to spine, so that you cannot feel that thing at all. This is a gorgeous piece and striking. I paid $500 for this, and well, it's purely because of that beautiful copper line through it. I mean, how could you pass that up? It's a wrought iron on the side, then we got 15 and 20 copper, 15 and 20, and then 1084. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. This did have one drawback that I found, other than the $500 price tag. I realised when I got it home, probably you might not be able to see it here, right here, as I can see the edge, there's light glinting off the edge for this last half inch so, and just a little bit right here. It's not as sharp as the rest. The front inch and a half is insanely sharp, same as main body. Between this right here is just incredibly sharp. It's just that this last little bit right here and here, just a little bit duller than the rest. Now that could be due to, well, keeping it with the resin knife in here. It could have been rubbing against it. It could have been all the people handling the blade at the show. It could have been transit, or hell, it could have been an oversight when sharpening on a stone. Either way, not a big problem. It's not a deal breaker or anything. As I got the stone there, I'll just give it another couple of passes. But this, I've already used this quite a lot, and it's a beautiful knife to handle. Again, there's not much weight here, but there's not much weight here, so it kind of evens out. It kind of aids it ever so slightly, having the heavier blade, especially with chopping. And it is a beautiful slicing blade, this thing, and it makes very fine slices. I've been screwing around with a bit of cucumber and basically chopping anything I can find, because I've never had a $500 kitchen knife, and I probably shouldn't have bought it, but just that copper line, I couldn't pass it up. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece, beautiful, beautiful piece. Alright, now our last blade, and oddly enough, this was the first blade I bought at the shop. This is by, hang on, I think it was Go Commando. Yes, Go Commando was the one that was selling this. This is a marbles knife, and now they make, as far as I can tell, they make axes, like fire axes. So I don't know why they're making this, but hell, I seen it there and I bought it because, well, again, like a few of these other knives, people just seem to be passing it over like it was just $120 I paid for this, and well, it's amazing. Got a nice leather sheath there, nothing fancy. Feels a little plasticky, but that's probably because of the wax that they've used to preserve it. This clip, extremely tough. This, and yes, that is a Bowie knife. Got brass butt cap, brass bolster, stacked leather handle, and it's a solid, hunky piece. I mean, just, we got a whole Damascus Bowie for $120. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. There's a ladder pattern with a grind in fuller. This side, quite an even fuller. This side, not so much. As you can see, probably a bit deeper right here, and then it kind of evens out. You can tell by that pattern. You can see it there, maybe not. That's pretty much the only drawback, other than the brass is a little tarnished, a little dirty. I'm guessing it's been sitting there a while because nobody seemed to care too much about this thing, so it didn't seem like many people, like not a single person was looking at it when I was trying to filter around the table, which is a shame because there's a lot of steel here for 120 bucks, and well, now I got a Damascus buoy, and this thing is a monster of a blade. There's a lot of weight here too. Got a nice hollow grind, just a finishing edge, and it is sharp. But give this brass a nice polish. Probably sand the leather back ever so slightly and oil it instead of waxing it. Other than that, there is not a single thing wrong with this blade. It's a gorgeous, heavy piece, and I'm really surprised no one was jumping at the chance for that. I'm guessing, like, you can't really carry a knife like this. You can't carry any knife in Australia, really, but there's the sheer amount of folding knives there, and those are highly legal in Australia, but yeah, that's them. That's all of them. Yeah. We have nothing more. That is everything. Now that you've seen all that, go out and buy yourself a knife. Go out, get one made. I got work to do now. See you next video.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.